Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.
Welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. My name is Becca, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Adam and Nicole.
Hello.
Hi.
Adam took a swig of water at literally the worst time possible.
I know. In the audio, you're probably going to hear me go, hello.
That'll be for the editor to edit out.
Yeah, our editor, which is Adam. Maybe eventually when we're in the big leagues, we will have an editor, but we're not there yet. So please subscribe and tell your friends. I'm just kidding. But no, today we're talking about fertilizing because it is springtime, which means it's time to start waking up our plants. I have this beautiful visual of like a mother coming in the morning and waking up her kid. So that's so sweet.
Oh.
Time for school. Just kidding. No, it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday when we're waking them up and we're making them up with pancakes and orange juice. So that's how our plants feel when we fertilize them. They're being woken up with love. So anyway, a little sentimental, but yeah, we're talking about houseplants. Well, always talking about houseplants. We're talking about fertilizing houseplants, waking them up after a long winter slumber, and how to do it, what to look for, how often to do it, how we personally fertilize. And yeah, but first we're going to catch up. So what's new?
What's new?
I mean,
What? Wait, isn't that a song? What's new, Pussycat?
Whoa, 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 whoa,
whoa. Does he say what's new?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Or is it what's up, Pussycat?
No, it's new.
I think it's what's new. Okay.
Yeah, it's new.
What's new, Pussycat? Whoa, 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 whoa.
I feel like Nicole needs to go first because her life has been, hectic.
It's so crazy. Well, okay, so this past week, we missed recording last week, but as of the second week of March, we're back in Chicago and my parents are living with us. So they sold their house. They're back. We went through that whole move. Thank God it's all over with. I hung out with Adam in Arizona. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I'm vlogging the whole moving process, and I'm going to have a video on my channel like once we find a house and we're moved into the new place. So probably a couple months down the road. But he came over and he helped us pack up an entire pod. And thank you again, because again, we needed the muscles. We couldn't do it without your help.
I have to interject here. I have to, because this was the most detailed and organized process of moving I have ever been a part of. Every single thing was in a box. The box was marked with its weight, so we knew what should go on the.
What?
Yeah, Becca.
Okay, well,
I'm not kidding.
In their
there
defense,
was a scale.
There was a scale. But see, the thing with pods, I don't know if anybody's listening has ever used. Sorry, guys, hold on. Shush.
You don't have to mute it.
Hold on a second. Shush.
The thing is, I always hear it in post.
He hears it in post.
Leave this in, Adam.
Okay, so the thing about pods is that you have to keep the pods at a certain weight. It has to be under 4,500 pounds each. And they didn't notice that until a week before they were going to be packing them up. So they had everything boxed and ready to go. But they were so nervous that they were going to be over their limit. And they won't let you just pay a little extra and take it. The trucks can't physically handle any more weight than the limit. So they were we would have to throw stuff away. So that's why they had to weigh every box. Now, I don't know if I would have gone that far as to weigh every box, but yeah, it was it was pretty organized. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
I mean, just for like a visual here, the boxes were located 10 to 15 yards away from the pod, so not very far. And I think like the heaviest box was like 65 pounds. But anytime I picked something up, Nicole's mom was like, no, put it on the dolly. Put it on the dolly. Don't, Adam, don't. And I'm like doing 2 boxes at a time. And I'm just like, it's fine. Like these aren't that heavy.
Ooh, strong man. Subtle flex.
No, I am not a strong man, but yeah. I mean, aside from like Tetrising the boxes into the pod, it was so quick.
Yeah, it did go pretty quickly. I mean, we all 3 of us kind of hustled and got it done in a couple hours. I don't even think it was a couple hours. It was more about strategically trying to pack the pod to fit everything in it than it was like moving boxes around. But we're glad that that's all over. And then like the pods are being stored at a facility until we find a house and like we move. But so we're all kind of just hanging out in a 1,500 square foot single family home. But it's fun. It's fun. It's good to have them back, and like they miss the other family that they have that was here, so they have plans to like see everybody. And it's nice too, because I feel like we're at a time where a lot of the adults like are getting vaccinated, and like kids, and like they don't really have to worry about seeing grandparents anymore, you know, so like they can actually hug their grandkids, which is nice. I feel like they're coming back at a good time. So we're busy. We're on the hunt. And it's just like go. Like I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow at noon type of deal. But yeah, it'll be over soon. It'll be fine. I'm excited, and it's a new chapter. So
it's funny to hear you. It's funny to hear you say like that. You're just like, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow at noon, because I'm sitting here thinking like that's always my life. But for you, that's like a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I have my weeks planned out, you guys, to a T. I'm like, I know where I'm going to be at what time. But and like we're getting back into weddings too. Like weddings are right around the corner, and I feel like this is the year like it's gonna pick back up. Knock on wood. So it's gonna be a busy ass summer, but it's okay. Better busy than relive 2020. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah. How about you, Adam?
Yeah.
Not much is new. It felt like everyone that I haven't seen in a while all came to Arizona at the same time. So our friend to the pod, Steve, I've killed that, was visiting. So he came over. We went on a hike and just, had dinner one night. So that was cool. And Nicole and I got to hang out with him one night. Yeah,
that was fun.
And then my friend Zach is in town, and he's been staying with me for the past couple weeks. And I think he's leaving on the 27th, so next week. So it's just like a lot of people, like I went from doing nothing for almost a year to like having like 4 different pods of people come to town all at the same time, but it was good. So it's been nice to like see people kind of get over my own anxieties about the pandemic. I'm being safe, and I trust that the people, obviously Nicole is being safe. Steve got a COVID test before he got here. Yeah. So that made me feel at ease. But yeah, it's just been kind of hectic.
We went to get tested yesterday, just because we haven't seen the kids since when we've been back. Like on Sunday we'll see them, and it'll be 2 weeks since I've seen my kids. So I'm really excited about that. But me and my mom went to go get a test because we flew, so just to be safe. And it was the first time I had to do a test where I did it myself. Have you guys ever had to do a test yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, that was so weird. I was like, well, I'd rather them do it because like they know what they're doing, but like inflicting pain on yourself is not something that like.
Oh, I love it.
I'd rather do it to myself.
Really?
It's less scary because like I can control it.
Well, true, and I do have control issues, but it was a very.
You do?
Who, you?
I must have like hit a tear duct because I couldn't stop like crying afterwards. Like my eye was just gushing, like watering. And I'm like, oh, I did something wrong up there.
How far did you shove it up in there?
I don't know. Far enough for them to get a good test. But anyway, we're negative. So yay.
Okay. So weird fact about me. I kind of love sneezing, and I can make myself sneeze by just like twirling a piece of like tissue and like tickle the inside of my nose.
Touch something up there. Yeah.
So literally every time I'm doing big business on the toilet, I just grab a sheet of, like, I always sneeze because I always am just, because I'm just sitting there and I'll grab a piece of toilet paper and twist it and tickle my nose. I don't know. Sneezing is a good, I feel like I like the sensation. Now, I'm not constantly walking around sneezing, but usually when you're sitting on the toilet, you're just like, well, what do I do except read this shampoo bottle or make myself sneeze? I don't know.
That is such a weird fact about you.
What the heck? I thought that you sneezed to like help your body like force it out, because you know when you sneeze, your body like contracts.
Yeah.
I thought you were like, yeah, if I just like I'm having a hard time, I'll just make myself sneeze, and it just that's what I thought you were saying.
No, it's just out of straight boredom.
I cannot make myself sneeze unless I'm like breathe pepper or something.
I just like use my phone on the toilet. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess I do that too. In other like news, I got a new camera. I got stymied and I decided to do what I'm supposed to do with it and spend it. So I got a new camera.
Yay!
What kind did you get?
I decided to get the Canon EOS R, which is a full frame mirrorless camera.
Yeah. Oh, that is so exciting.
I'm so excited.
That's going to be fun for your little vlog adventures.
Yeah. I got a new trip to Disney World planned in July.
Oh, fun. Yeah, because they just opened.
Yeah. Well, land did. I'm going to World, so
Florida. You're going to
World.
World. Okay.
And then cruises later if those happen, but who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fun.
That's really exciting.
So expect some vlogs from Adam in the coming weeks. No, I'm just kidding. Pressure's on.
Wow, vloggy Adam. I'm so excited for you. I feel
That's exciting.
Like traveling this summer is going to be possible, possibly. Like, well, I mean, it is going to be possible. Most people will be vaccinated, which is so cool.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go. Like, I just like the possibilities.
They're endless.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
What about you, Becca? Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't know what else I was gonna say other than like, so I film my YouTube videos on a full frame camera because I just like the look of a full frame camera. I know it's not needed, and it's just nerdy, but my Nikon doesn't autofocus because I mean it does, but you would hear and it drove me nuts. And so I'm just excited because people have commented like you need to hold the plant closer to the camera because I couldn't see it, but I try to include B-roll of plants, but now I can just hold it up there, it'll focus on it, and I'll hold it back. You
can do the Nicole with the hand behind it. You can do all that. I just labeled that the Nicole, like nobody else does it. Okay.
The My Clean Nicole hand.
My clean hands.
My clean hands.
Okay, and I'm done. So we can let's hear about Becca because we haven't even checked in, and it's been like a couple weeks.
Yeah, we have been pretty quiet with each other lately.
Yeah, we have. Well, life just feels like a time warp right now. I feel like, I mean, I don't want to bring in some negativity because we're all in a great mood. I just have been feeling like a time warp and nothing interesting has happened. And like every day feels like Groundhog Day. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I felt. Especially this last week, Daniel was out of town for work for the week. And like my nightmares came back. I was paranoid all the time.
That's hard. When you're used to being with somebody 24/7, that is so hard. Mm-hmm. When they leave.
Yeah, like my body goes into like a stress response for a little bit because, I'm in a new place. I feel uneasy. But, like with the nature of his work, like he does leave a lot. So like I'm used to it. I'm fine. Like emotionally, it's just like the physical, like not having someone to protect me makes me scared. And like, it just with all the stuff that's been happening, like with like the woman in London, and I think it was in London, somewhere in the UK. Yeah, London. I mean, it just makes you like double think everything. Like every single door was locked at all times. I slept like with full clothing on. It's just like these little things that like I had to think about like all week that normally I'm like really relaxed and doesn't even cross my mind. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Daniel's definitely like a safety net for me.
Yeah.
Which like as I'm growing older, I'm learning like isn't a bad thing. It's okay to rely on other people.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I've just been kind of chilling out. I made tortillas for the first time.
I saw that.
Nicole, you need to try them. They're so good. Your family would love them.
Oh my God, I'm totally going to try them. Did you do a TikTok or a Reels or something?
No, I just used a TikTok recipe.
Okay. I have to try that because I watched it and I was like, this looks actually super easy.
Yeah, it was so easy. It's just like flour, butter, water, salt, baking powder. That's it. And you just mix it all and like you knead it. You let it rise a little bit. And then you just put it on a pan to cook for a little bit, you know, until it gets like that classic like coloring.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so easy. And for some reason, I always thought that making tortillas was like really, really hard and something that only like, I don't know, my abuela could do. But that's not true. You know, anyone can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah. She was really proud of me. I sent her a picture. She's like, oh my gosh, like I have to send you my recipe. It's foolproof. And I was like, okay, fine.
Oh, that's so sweet. Was this the grandma that you posted the photo that you colorized in your stories the other day?
No. So that's my mom's mom.
Okay.
She's beautiful.
My abuela is my dad's mom.
Okay.
Okay.
The one that gets you get your coats from?
Yeah, well, no, okay, sorry, confusing family tree. My mom's mom is who I get the coats from.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's my mom's grandma's coats. So, yeah. But that woman, the photo that I colorized, so cool. So it was just this app called My Heritage, and I was able to colorize some photos of my like my great grandparents and my grandma. And it was so cool. I mean, people like do this as a career, you know, so it wasn't like as accurate as it probably would be if someone, you know, really took the time to do it professionally. But really at the press of a button, I could like see their faces come alive, which was so cool. Like, and a bunch of people commented on that photo saying that I looked just like her, which was so cool. Like, I was like, do I? I don't know. Because like I've grown up not looking like my family. So it just like meant so much to me that people were like, you look just like her, like you guys are twins, this is beautiful. And I was like, wow, I belong. You know, it was really sweet. And she's just such a beautiful woman. Like even now she's so beautiful, and I just like love looking at pictures of her. So that was really cool. That's what I've been up to. I mean, just like random things like that makes my life sound like more dreamy than it is. You know, it's been very monotonous.
Yeah. And I mean, I just wanted to, obviously, you know that you can always speak candidly and you're not dampering or putting a negative spin on anything. Like I will still be in a good mood because I get to see your face, but like this is real life and shit sucks sometimes. And I'm sorry that you were dealing with that because I don't even like to be home alone myself and I'm a man, but like, and not saying that, but like there's a lot of added things for women. Like you're talking about the Sarah incident from London. Like there's stuff that happens that I don't even think about. It doesn't even cross my mind. As a man, as a white person, and it's when you're forced to think about those things, it's like really, it just like tears you down. Like I don't know. But like I lock my bedroom door every time I go to sleep, and Steve thought it was weird, but I'm like, look, it's one more barrier if someone were to break in the house. Like because I am such a strong sleeper that if someone opened the bedroom door, it would not wake me up. So I was like, but if they're wiggling a locked door, I probably would wake up.
Right. I feel like Jay's like that too. Like we check the doors and make sure they're all locked every day, but like I think about that often. I'm like, if someone was to break in the house, which is usually in the middle of the night, right? Or like if they're stalking you and waiting for everybody to leave the house is when they'd rob it. But like if somebody's looking to break in, it's usually in the middle of the night. Like our dogs would probably be the first to alarm us. Like they would let us know right away, which I think is one of the best reasons to have a dog.
Absolutely.
Guard dogs. But yeah, like the locking the door, like I like to have the door open when I sleep because I feel claustrophobic and I feel like it just gets too hot and I can't breathe, even though that's probably not factual, but I don't know, it's in my head. But if Jay could lock every single door, like he would, like that might be a New York thing too, like just out of precaution. It's funny because I think about that same stuff. But yeah, you're never a damper, ever, ever, ever.
Never.
Yeah,
but oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was just going to say, you know, life is heavy sometimes. So,
yeah.
I think we need to talk about this amazing new book that hit the market that we haven't really spoken about on the pod.
Oh, and then listen, Adam specifically gave me instructions to record an ad read for my book, and I forgot because I'm me. And yeah, so they've been really pushing me to talk about it, and I'm just like, no, but yes, okay. So I wrote a book.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, it's called Houseplants for Beginners, and it's a 101 guide to take you through owning houseplants, you know, from the very first time you walk into a greenhouse to picking out your first plant, bringing it home, repotting, troubleshooting through issues. You know, I mean, most people that listen to the pod probably, you know, are past that point perhaps, but maybe you know someone who isn't, or you just want to support, or you want another plant book just to read through, because you know, I would like to think that the writing is really beautiful. I am a fiction writer is what I would call myself. So writing nonfiction, I really wanted to bring in a lot of imagery and make it feel like an experience. I didn't want it to feel like a textbook. So I really hope that that comes through in the text. So even if you are like, you already know all the information, I hope that it just is like pretty to read. And yeah, there's information in the front. And then in the back, there's like a whole 100 plant guide and 100 plants, how to take care of them. Basically, any plant that you could find at a local nursery that you might be interested in is probably going to be in the back of the book. So,
Yeah.
And it is so beautifully illustrated. Like,
yeah. And just the feeling of it, the smell of it, all of it.
Okay,
just
you got it then. You got yours.
The whole
Okay.
package is just beautiful. And my friend Chrissy bought 2 of them because she wanted to gift one to a friend that was just starting in plants too. And I was like, yeah, that's the perfect thing. Like, you know, a lot of people have picked up plants, or a lot of people see us with our plants and like, oh, where do I start? And that's like a perfect gift to give someone because it really does like walk you through and like is like just a perfect thing to have when you just start your plant journey. And, you know, even for people who have plants, it's still awesome to have to refer back to. I really like it. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I was sitting on Becca's couch while she was writing some of the copy to it because we were going to film something the next day. So
that's right.
I can confirm that this was a labor of love, and she put her heart and soul into those words.
Yeah.
I remember when you were... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I remember when you were in Missouri house hunting and you were staying at your Airbnb and you were just like, 100 plants, guys, 100 plants. I have so much to do, but that's okay because I have this cute little Airbnb and it's really relaxing and I'm just going to sit up here and write my book. And I was like, oh my God, you're so cute.
Yeah, it was a really fast process, and the publisher wanted a quick turnaround, which I was like, that's fine with me because that means that I'm not stressed about it for a long time and it's just done. Right. So I think I wrote it in like, 4 to 6 months or something like crazy like that. It was a blur, honestly. I don't remember much, but I couldn't talk about it until like January. Right. So just legally, you know, somebody asked me like why I kept it a secret, and I was like, well, I can't tell you. Because
exactly,
you know, someone might publish a book about the same thing faster, or I don't really know, but like there's just reasons that you don't share stuff like that right away. Yeah. But it was crazy, and yeah, I was writing copy a lot. Like I had deadlines and big chunks of text that I had to submit, and one of the times Adam was with me and I felt so terrible, but I had to get it done.
What was that really bad TV show we were watching, that like British dating show where the family could spy on the people?
What was that? Oh my God, that was so bad. I forgot about that show.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was this like trash British reality TV show, which like British reality TV is probably my favorite like genre. Like I don't even like Love Island American version. I love like the UK and the Australia version. Just something about it is just so much better.
I don't think I've ever seen a British reality TV show.
Oh my gosh,
you're missing out.
Now I have to
half the time, like depending on their accent, you just don't know what they're saying. You need subtitles.
Yeah.
Which I just think it's amazing. But okay, basically this couple who like the family like doesn't like their partner, they give them this like tropical vacation, and then like the mom or like a parent and a sibling or grandparents will go and like watch them behind like hidden cameras and like a two-way mirror, and like the couple is on vacation, so like they're being sexy and like doing vacation. Like, who doesn't get sexy on vacation? But you know what I mean? Like, they're doing
hotel
normal
sex is always the best.
Yeah, like, come on. We need to mark this episode as E now. Thanks. Yeah. No, but then the family would just be watching behind hidden cameras, and then the couple, they find out, and then they have to watch back as well. And it's just like, no, this is like really bad, like PORN. Like, it's just not good.
Yeah. The one episode too, like the family went into their room and like went through their suitcases because they were out.
That's right.
And I was just like,
found, like,
and there was some kinky
toys.
stuff in there. Yeah.
Ew, you guys
Like,
are watching
such
some
private-
shows.
Like, you don't even want TSA to find out about it. You'll never even see TSA, but like just the thought of someone lurking through your bag, even when there isn't anything weird in it, but then you think, okay, anyway, sorry, derailing completely.
Oh my gosh. It was
Like we do.
Good times. Good times.
You know what? I had a few DMs last week. We had Gretchen on from Greenhouse Girl 94 on Instagram. I think it was a couple weeks ago by the time you're hearing this, but people were saying how much they missed our catch up, because we really kind of skipped a catch up because we had so much that we wanted to talk to her about, which was such a great episode. And people were like, yeah, it was so great, but we missed your catch up and your ranting and you're off track. So there you go, you guys. You're welcome.
That just made up for it. So circling back, if you're interested in checking out the book, it's linked in my description. It's on my website. It's available on Amazon. It's available on Barnes & Noble. Really anywhere you buy books, you can buy it. If they don't have it in stores, they can order it. And if you want your local plant store to carry it or whatever, just ask them and they'll know how to order it. It's just the regular way you order books through Ingram. Yeah, so if you're interested.
It's been live for like a little over a week now. Have you gotten some great feedback?
Yeah, so from the publisher, I don't know if they set the goal like really low on purpose or like they just didn't know what the interest would be, but like we sold, I would say, like hundreds more copies than they thought would.
That's fantastic.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so they were very like, oh my gosh, like this is actually, I don't know, I think they were kind of surprised, like not that they underestimated me, but like they just didn't know what the interest would be. I mean, you never really know.
Mm-hmm.
Never underestimate dilettantes. I mean, dilettants.
That's my other brand.
Sorry. You're branded in a lot of places.
I know. Okay, so I suppose that we should get on to the subject. So thank you. I hope you guys feel fulfilled with our catch up. I know I do. I always love this time.
Me too.
It's really the only time that I talk to friends. So,
Aw.
so I really appreciate it. But
Let's change that.
Yeah, let me like call my friends more often. You know, I do, but people have lives, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
You know that Instagram, really quickly before we get into it, Instagram just okayed like 4 people for Instagram lives now. And I was thinking that we should maybe do a live.
We should. I went live the other day and it was so fun. I love Instagram Live. I don't like YouTube Live that much.
Yeah,
I saw you were
like
live and I was
stuffy.
like, yay.
I was in your room for a bit and I was like, oh, Becca's live early, but then I forgot the time change, which is your first experience with the time change. And I was like, oh wait,
I forgot
it's
to talk
7
about
o'clock
that.
for her, but it was 5 o'clock for me. I was like, wow, she's on this live early.
Oh, that's something I didn't talk about. I am wiped out this week, like badly. I honestly didn't even know that daylight savings was a thing until you texted Adam and you said, hi from 2 hours behind. And I was like so confused all day. I was like, what is he saying? Like, did he move? Like, I was so confused. I thought you went somewhere. And then like Nicole said something and I was like, what? And then I looked it up and yeah, daylight savings happened. I feel like the daylight savings that happened in the fall, more people were talking about it prior to it happening. And in this one, no one said a word and it just happened and I have no idea. So like the day that it happened, something strange did happen. I woke up at 9, which is, I don't know, on the weekends, I usually wake up at 9-ish. maybe a 10 if I'm really sleeping in. But I looked at my watch and I was like, okay, it's 9 o'clock. Cool. And I just like closed my eyes again just to like slowly wake up. And then, you know, a few minutes later, I look at my phone and it said 10. And I was like, what the... Man, I guess I fell asleep. I need to get up. It had been like 5 minutes. Like literally had been 5 minutes. But I thought like, geez, has it been an hour? Like, I don't know. You don't question these things. Like I was just like, oh, okay, I guess I fell asleep. So then I got up and just did my day and didn't even think about it.
That is so funny.
Did my silly little tasks in my day.
I think that, you know, a reason the spring forward always hits people hard because you're losing an hour, even though it's on a weekend. You're not really, but you kind of lose an hour.
Yeah.
But in the fall, you kind of gain an hour, and you can always do the fun little memes with Cher singing "If I Could Turn Back Time." So like,
if
I think
I
that's
could turn back time.
Amazing. Yeah, I'm a little lost. So.
Yeah, and it's hard when you have family in another part, like Arizona, or friends in Arizona, or somewhere where it's that big of a time difference, because that's what I used to hate, because my mom would wake up, or it was just like always like I had to wait until like 8 a.m. to text her if I needed to tell her something, because it would be 6 o'clock in the morning over there, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing. But this week I'm giving myself like a tiny break. Like I've woken up at like, I don't know, this morning I woke up at 10:30. It's so bad. But then I was like, well, it's only 8:30 where my job is located. So I was like, they're just getting their day started. So like I have a little bit of like, it's wrong. But at the same time, I'm like, I have a little bit of slack because they're not even awake yet. Or, you know, they're just getting started. Yeah. And I got to work right away. If you're listening, anyone who I work with. But, you know, it was just like, I needed that really bad today. And I feel a lot better. But I've been so tired all week. But, okay. Enough about
37 minutes in, you guys.
Yeah, let's talk about some fertilizer.
Hopefully we can shave that down a bit. Yeah. Okay, so... Like I said earlier, we're talking about fertilizing because now is the time when mom walks into the room and wakes you up with pancakes. So we're preparing the pancakes. And we're just going to talk about, I think first we should talk about how we personally fertilize our plants, and then we can get more into the nitty gritty. So I'll just quickly start by saying that I use organic fertilizer. It's an organic powder fertilizer from Tank's Green Stuff. I have a partnership with a company, but also like they've introduced me to these products and I love them and I've seen such great results. And you know, after many conversations with Shota, I've learned so much about fertilizer, and like I just, with what I know, armed with knowledge, I feel so much better about using this organic powder fertilizer, and I love it. I think it's really easy and it works well with my plants. And if you buy De La Tank soil, it comes like mixed in already, so it's pre-fertilized. So if I've recently repotted, oh sorry, what?
I was going to ask, is it the Tank's Green Stuff, the Super Mix, the 100% natural organic fertilizer? Is that the one you're using? Is that the only one they have?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I didn't even say the name. Yeah, it's Tank Super Mix organic fertilizer. And it's amazing. It comes in a huge bag. I've had it for 9 months-ish, and I haven't even made a dent in it. Like, it'll literally last you forever. I think it's like $30 for the bag or something. It'll last you forever.
Do you mix it in like with water, or do you mix it in like the top layer of soil?
Just the top layer of soil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like, because what I notice is if I just put it on top of the soil and then I water, the water kind of like shrugs off of the fertilizer, you know, like how it kind of like creates like an impermeable layer. I just kind of like mix it in with the top layer of the soil sometimes. But I was talking to Shota about it and I was like, so I don't need to like, because with liquid fertilizer, it penetrates all the way down and you know that right away. But with this, just with like organic fertilizer in general and fertilizer of this certain structure, it helps the long-term health of the soil because it slowly integrates and, you know, it becomes one with the soil. It doesn't just drain right out the bottom, you know, so it creates like a more well-balanced soil as time goes on. So, and the reason that you fertilize is because your soil loses all of its nutrients within a couple of months, really, because your plant uses it. And so if you don't have plant available nutrients, your plant is really just like driving on E. You know, it'll still go, but it's not really flourishing. So that's why you fertilize, is to replace those nutrients. And yeah, so that's what I do for my fertilizing. And I usually start in March. And I fertilize like, I don't know, once a month, every 2 months, depending on the plant itself. So what about you guys?
Have you started yet?
I am going to be starting this week. So I just did a big watering last week. I usually do a big watering like once a week, and I forgot last week. So I'm probably going to this time when I water.
Cool.
Yeah. I will say that fertilizer, when I was a new plant parent, fertilizer was the one thing that stressed me out the most, I think. Trying to figure out, because you have so many different fertilizers out there in the market. And I kind of, when I was in that stage of being a plant parent, I was just going off what people who I looked up to were doing. Like Gretchen, I think I bought my first fertilizer because of one she recommended. It was a Dynagrow Foliage Pro, and I still have it, and I still use it. It's a liquid, but that's a synthetic. That's not an organic like Becca uses. But it was confusing because I'm like, okay, what do these numbers mean? Because there's always 3 numbers on all fertilizers: NPK, nitrogen, potassium, potash. No.
Potassium.
Phosphorus.
No. Nitrogen, potassium.
Phosphorus.
Oh, phosphorus. Okay, sorry. I thought you were trying to come up with like a P word for the... Okay, what? Sorry. Nitrogen, phosphorus. Ignore me.
But yeah, like I still was confused. I don't have a degree. I have never claimed to be a professional botanist or horticulturalist. So I was always confused like what those do. And as you learn more, like you can look at a plant and find out like what it needs by how it's presenting, its foliage and, you know, all that. But when I started, I was just like, I don't know. So I kind of think I got that Foliage Pro, but a good all around, houseplant fertilizer. If you don't want to like dive into specific things, I know that tank screen stuff is obviously really good. And then Espoma has like a organic fertilizer that smells wonderful, but I mean all fertilizers have a smell.
They do.
The tanks
they have a weird smell.
The tanks one smells like manure. Like it's not that strong, but usually the good fertilizers have a scent.
Yeah.
The fish fertilizer.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I can't do that.
It's
so
rough.
yeah, it's hard to like figure out where to start, but just like find a good all around one and start there. But that being said, a lot of my plants are in LECA, and I use hydroponic nutrients to feed them. So I don't have like a big fertilizer regimen. Every time I water my plants, regardless of the season, I always water the plants that I have in soil with Super Thrive water mix. And Super Thrive isn't a fertilizer replacement. Super Thrive is like micronutrients that your plant and vitamins that your plant can take in. So like if you kind of have a sick plant, it kind of gives them a boost. So it's just a vitamin. It's not a fertilizer replacement, but no matter what, I always water with Super Thrive water. And then for those some soil plants, I'll use that Foliage Pro by Dynagrow. And everyone seems to be happy. You know, I don't have like 3 different fertilizers for different plants. I just use that one. I mean, if I fertilize cactus and succulents, I would probably use a fertilizer specifically for them because they're not heavy feeders. But, you know, for the most part, I just have my nutrient solution that I'm always giving to plants, regardless of the season. But I'm a little lucky here in Arizona that the winter doesn't hit as hard as other places.
So for me, like I do the same hydroponic mixing for my LECA plants that Adam does, and I use Super Thrive too. And like, I'm glad I heard you talk about tanks fertilizer, because I think I'm going to switch over to that and give that a try for my plants that are still in soil that aren't in LECA this spring. I haven't started yet, but I was thinking about it. And then like with the move, like we're going to be moving within the next, couple of months. I'm like, ooh, like I hope that they do well with coming out of winter and like freshly getting fertilized. And then with the move, like there may be some fallback, but hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully that boost of fertilizer will give them the energy they need to make it through the little trip. But I think I'm gonna look into that stuff because it sounds really good. But for my cactus, because I have a really good chunk of cactus plants, and I use the cactus espoma. Is it espoma? Fertilizer. I think it's a 1-2-2. I feel it's like a very safe fertilizer. You know, you add it to your water, you fertilize. I've never had any issues with it. I've never had any issues with burning plants from it, because you have to be careful. I'm not sure which one of the ingredients is it, but if you use the wrong type of fertilizer on the wrong plant, you can burn your plant. At least that's what I read. But they don't, I feel like when I first started collecting cactus, I was fertilizing all the time. And I don't know if it was the same thing with you guys, but I thought that you needed to fertilize all year long. I didn't know that plants went dormant. And cactus are a little bit different, but being in Chicago, I feel like they still need that time to go dormant and to just rest, you know? So I fertilize them the same time as the rest of my plants. I kind of keep them on the same schedule. But I mean, they've loved it. They've done great. On that same schedule with that fertilizer. So I think I'm just going to keep them on that and then try to use that Tanks one in the spring.
I'm going to send you a sample of mine because the bag is it's going to take me so long to get through it. I'll send you a sample.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I mean, it's like a, you know, I don't know.
Big bag. Yeah.
12 by 12 bag. It's not massive, but you use such a minimal amount for your houseplants. But for cactus, I usually fertilize once in the spring, once in the fall, and that's it. Okay. That's what I've done. but you fertilize cactus more often, you said.
Yeah, I do. I fertilize them pretty much all summer, throughout the summer. But I'll start spring and summer. So I won't do that last, probably stop around fall starts in Chicago right around the end of September. It's still pretty hot in mid-September, and then beginning of October is usually when I'll just stop fertilizing all of my plants, really, and then they'll start to go dormant once the cold hits.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be interesting because this is also a year that this is the first summer that I've had my grow lights, so I'm curious to see with fertilizing how much of a difference it's going to make with the grow lights and with the summer temperatures and the extra sun coming in through the window. I'm just so curious to see how they're going to do. It's going to be exciting.
They're going to be living their best lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So since you guys are both hydroponics people or just, would you say that hydroponics people? I don't know.
I would say.
So a lot of people have asked, can you use hydro fertilizer or hydro nutrients in your soil plants as fertilizer? Yes, right?
I mean, I don't see why not. I just don't. I think there are other products you should use, you know, personally. I don't know for sure, so you can come for me if you want. I'm stating right now that I don't know for sure. I just feel I don't see why it would be an issue, but on the other hand, you should just buy,
something
a
that's
houseplant
premixed.
Fertilizer that's already.
Yeah.
And I do love that you said that, Becca, about the powder that you use, the organic fertilizer, that it integrates into the soil, because I think that's pretty damn important, because the fertilizer I use, I just fill in my watering can. And then, you saturate the soil, but then once, how long would it stay in that soil, am I going to, I would have to probably do that every single watering, or maybe every other watering. Whereas if you integrate it into your soil like a powder, that would obviously last longer and take care of things. So
yeah, definitely. And the thing is with organic fertilizers is it's sometimes hard to find vegan options. That's something that, has come up a lot in discussions of this, because usually you would use manure to some degree, bat manure, chicken, cow, you would use those elements. So vegan fertilizer is usually the synthetic. or perhaps like a compost situation. But I don't know too much about it. I know that I did talk about it with Shota in my fertilizing video, but you know, if you would like to go in the more vegan area, like there are options. It's just a little more limited because a lot of the organic fertilizers will include like animal droppings.
Fecal matter.
Ew.
Yeah, and they're like the animals. Oh shoot, my headphones just died. The animals are vegan, so that's why we would use theirs. You know, you're not going to use like your dog's poop.
Yeah.
But you could.
No, because they eat meat.
Oh.
Well, like in their food, like there's like meat elements.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right, and it would just get like rotted.
And then they're pooping it out. Then your plants are eating meat.
Ooh,
That's
Goopies
a
had a
twist.
poopies.
Goopies had a poopies.
But I have a question. I kind of have a question for you too, though. Have you guys ever used anything like, you know, sometimes you see these videos where people put eggshells in their watering can, or like banana peels. Have you guys ever done any of that personally?
I've used eggshells in the garden before.
Okay.
We used to give our dogs raw eggs. It was like a part of their diet for a long time. And then I read something like it wasn't, I don't know what happened, but we just went through a lot of eggs, and I was using them in like the garden, but I've never tried them with my house plants, but I can imagine that they would be a good source of fertilizer.
Mm-hmm. I used eggshells for like, I just would crush it up. I've seen people like blend it and like put it in their soil. But the thing about doing stuff like that, and I've seen even people put like a banana peel in water and then watering with that, like that's probably good if your plant is deficient in like that one single nutrients, but you can't expect that that's going to be like a full frame camera, like a full like a you know what I mean, a full fertilizer treatment.
It's not giving them everything that they need.
Yeah. I've seen it done. I've done it myself with the eggshell thing, though.
Yeah.
Do you guys use worm castings?
No. But with the amount of worms in my yard, I feel like I should do a worm farm. And Scott from Scott Grows an Avocado Tree has been telling me that, because he has a worm farm, I guess. So he's been telling me that I should do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That would be so cool.
I did mix worm castings in with when I used to make my own soil before De La Tanks entered my life. But I did read online that you can use worm castings as a pretty good fertilizer too. The one article said that 1 tablespoon or one sort of spoon, table or tea, which is a very big difference, and I'm sorry that I don't know. I think I said tablespoon.
I think so.
Can feed a 6-inch plant up to 2 months, you know, because there's a lot more nutrients in that worm castings, which is basically just like worm poop. Then, you know, just it's good for your plants. So I used to mix it in my soil, and like Becca said earlier, plants kind of run through soil. If you have it in the right size pot, they kind of run through those nutrients within a couple months. So you're going to constantly need to be doing something to like help them get some food.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to mix it in with my houseplants too. I remember I got this big bucket of worm castings, and it was just, again, before De La Tanks entered my life, when I was pre-mixing my own soil. And I remember Mia came into the kitchen and she's like, "Oh, is that like a different kind of soil?" And I was like, "Nope, just worm poop." And she's like, "Wait, what?" I was like, "Yeah, it's worm poop." And she's like, "Oh my God, you've entered another level of houseplant care." And I was like, "Yeah. It's what you got to do. It's the good stuff."
Yeah. So it can be done.
It can. Ooh, I really want you to do a worm farm, because you had some nice wormies under that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They were some thick boys in there.
I've got some thick worms. Yeah. There's an area of my yard that was like covered by a layer of fake grass. I'm still trying to figure out why they did that. But Nicole suggested that it might be because it's muddy. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
or a putting green.
Or a putting green. Yeah, but there's just like a ton of worms underneath it, which is so cool. Like the soil is probably so fertile. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna transfer some.
Yeah, like at the very least, like take some out and put them in your in your veggie garden and like where your flowers are going to be. It's so good for the soil.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My flower stuff, like, 'cause I'm starting seeds for my garden, and like I was getting one of my garden beds ready and then it flooded like badly. So I'm like, oh, I need to figure out why that happened and how to prevent it, because I don't think that'll be good.
No. Oh no. Maybe it's like not really great aeration like underneath it, or maybe the soil doesn't go deep enough.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, I don't really know what's happening. I'm probably gonna take to Instagram and ask why. But
Crowdsource,
yeah.
It's always the best.
I mean, it's just like the biggest blessing of having my Instagram. Like, literally, I ask a single question, I get like 80 answers. Like, I asked something so obscure, like, does anyone I follow here like speak Swahili? And I got like 3 people that were like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, wow, this is so random.
That's so cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
The upside of being an influencer.
Yeah, definitely. But all right, so what are the other types of fertilizers that people can buy, or what might they see on the shelves?
Well, I think that one of the biggest ones that we see in like big box stores is the slow release fertilizer, which
Little pellets.
I know it works. The little pellets, like, I know it works. I know you can use it, but it just looks so fake to me. Like, it looks like little plastic pieces in your soil. And I don't know, it's just like a me thing, but I just never liked the look of them. Like, they're usually green, like bright green. So I've never used them myself. And I usually repot my plants shortly after bringing them home from a big box store, if it's a big box store. But do you guys use them?
I've never used them.
No, I mean, I've always seen them in the plants that I buy from like a big box store, even like a nursery that has like a lot of plants. And usually you're right, they're like a green or a yellow little circle. And I'm always like, what is that? But I think that they would work well, akin to like how Becca was saying her I tried to say her, and I don't know.
Horror.
But akin to what Becca was saying is that like it would integrate and stay in the soil, like a powdered organic fertilizer too.
Right.
So, but I think that one, specifically the slow release, I think that's obviously like a synthetic product made into like a little tiny ball that releases stuff when it gets wet in your soil.
Yeah, for sure. And the synthetics are, people, you could hate on synthetics or whatever you want, but synthetic fertilizers are pretty close to being perfect. Like, the ratios are perfect, exactly what the plant would need to produce growth, which is why they work. So an organic fertilizer, even if it's like made like as well as possible, it might not be as accurate on like the ratios, you know what I mean? Because it's not as controlled. It's not made from chemicals.
Right.
So that's just like one pro of synthetic, and you get those quick results.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from slow release, I mean, other things you probably would see, and regardless of your opinion on it, I'm just stating a fact, but Miracle Grow. I think when I started, I used that blue Miracle Grow powder that you would like mix in your watering can.
Oh, yeah.
I've
seen that.
Because it was just an all-purpose plant food, which is what I needed because fertilizers confused me so much.
Yeah. It's like a Gatorade powder.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Miracle Grow soil, I'm not a big fan of, but they have so many other products. Like, they have like gardening stuff. They have like a lot of even like physical products too. So, I mean, I don't know. Can't say much about other products. I used their all-purpose fertilizer, their liquid concentrate. I used that up until maybe a year ago. And I liked it. It was fine. So
it did the job.
Yeah, it does the job. Definitely does the job. But
it doesn't say like what the...
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm looking it up and it doesn't say what the ratio is. Like, I can't seem to find it, but it says to feed every 7 to 14 days. That's another thing. I feel like I kind of do like half of what any of fertilizer instructions tell me to do. Not when it comes to hydroponics, but like with fertilizers. Like I always usually like either I'll use the full amount, but I'll only water like once every month with fertilizer and like skip a week in there. Or I'll do like half the dose. I don't know. Do you guys do that, or do you follow the instructions all the way?
If I'm working with a synthetic, I don't fertilize like every week. It would be like maybe every 14 to 21 days, more like. But also I've heard a lot of advice that says like, sometimes those can still be too strong for your houseplants, those ratios of what they tell you to do. So if anything, like especially with a synthetic, to err more on the watered down side than anything, because synthetic is more likely to burn your plants, whereas organic definitely won't.
Yeah, I mean, I always follow the mixing rules or like the suggested mixing, but I don't really follow the suggested time frame as far as like, every 7 days. No, I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes our plants don't even need water every 7 days,
Yeah.
So I feel like you get to a point where you kind of get to know your plants and know what they need. And you do your own thing.
You can go your own way.
Go your own way.
And that was it for Duet Corner.
So what other things about fertilizer do we want to talk about?
Fertilizer.
I would say don't not do it just because you're afraid you don't know how, because there's a lot of information out there that'll make it seem more complicated than it is. But literally you pick one that sticks out to you that's all purpose or houseplant or whatever. You read the instructions and you apply it. It doesn't have to be this big thing. And you just do it, and it will help. It will make your plants grow because they need that. So, I mean, don't overcomplicate it.
I mean, I can't let you get away with that double negative you used, but
did I use a double
correct.
negative? What did I say?
You
Don't
said,
not.
Don't not do it.
Oh, don't not do
Don't
it.
not do it.
Don't avoid
Don't
it.
not. Yes. Becca is so right though, because like your plants need food just like you as a human need food. You can't, we've said this before, you can't survive off of water. Your plants won't survive just off of water. And a big takeaway that I want people to know is while liquid dirt and super thrive, things like that are good for your plants and they provide vitamins and nutrients, like that's not a substitute for a fertilizer. I'm always a proponent of super thrive. I prop everything in super thrive water. I've never had issues. I constantly have it on hand, but you also need to fertilize on top of that. Like you can't just replace those with fertilizer because it's not the same. You've got to give your plants a food.
Yeah. We can't live without water. Our plants can't live without water unless you're a 1979 pothos. Then you can. Then you can live in water and no soil and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No, yeah, but that's so true. It's a good analogy.
Yeah, and we could very easily just go into all of the science behind it and everything, but it's been done before. There's people who are like very, very, very knowledgeable at this who have made informational videos like Summer Rain. She has a great blog post about it. There's a lot that you should be thinking about as far as the composition of your fertilizer, but you're not making your own fertilizer. Someone's already done that for you. So just go buy one and use it.
Yeah.
And like whatever product resonates with you.
Yeah, exactly. And like Becca said earlier too, that just a good all-around houseplant fertilizer. Just like if you're stressed, just get that, because that's what I did because I was stressed. It seemed like a lot of information. And regardless, like even just the all-around is going to be giving your plant nutrients that it needs. So you're going to be golden with that.
I think that pretty much wraps it up. So yeah, if you guys have any tips or advice or questions about fertilizing, we love to use our most recent Instagram posts as a sort of forum to discuss the episode. So if you want to head over to our Instagram at Potted Together to check out our most recent episode, you can have a chat with our fellow listeners and just talk about your tips for fertilizing. And again, it's not, don't overcomplicate it. It's very simple if you let it be. So yeah, and leave us a review if you can. Follow us on YouTube. We got some collabs planned. And I think that's all I have to say. So if you guys have any last words.
Yeah, actually, can we celebrate for a second? Because Potted Together hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube this past week.
Yay!
That's exciting.
That is very
It's
exciting.
so exciting.
We got to get more videos.
We need to get
up.
our shit together. Becca said it a little nicer than I did.
Yes.
Always cracking the whip.
Yeah, I feel like
that's all I wanted to add.
Yeah, I feel like summer will bring more. Oh, fungus gnat.
Yeah, in my closet. How is there a fungus net in here? They find you.
Yikes.
They find you anywhere.
Yeah, they like the warm moisture of your scalp.
Ew.
Bye.
Yeah, okay. As always, we appreciate you being here, and now we're going to leave. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
You guys are hilarious.
Gear Patrol calls their new dive watch the best sub-$500 dive watch. Full stop. Men's Health rated them as the most stylish solar watch in the game. Who are we talking about? It's Movement. They're leveling up your gift giving with the sleekest watches you can buy and the biggest deals of the season. Shop 30 to 50% off Movement's innovative California clean watches, jewelry, and accessories with fast free shipping and returns now at mvmt.com. That's mvmt.com.